everyone, it's Beth from Universal Think Tank. This week in the Life in the UK series, we're looking at life in Britain since 1979. Let's take a look at what life in Britain looked like under the Conservative government between 1979 and 1997. Following the Conservative victory in the general election in 1979, Margaret Thatcher rose to power. She became Britain's first female Prime Minister with a majority of 43 seats. As well as this, she was the longest serving Prime Minister of the 20th century, remaining in office until 1990. Thatcher supported greater independence of the individual from the state. She came to power on the promise that the Conservatives would cut income tax, reduce public expenditure, make it easier for people to buy their own homes and curb the power of the unions. In 1982, Argentina invaded the British overseas territory of the Falkland Islands. Margaret Thatcher faced the most testing crisis of her career. Argentina had claimed power over the islands for many years, and their ruling military committee didn't believe that Britain would attempt to regain power of the islands by force. The Falklands were 8,000 miles away in the South Atlantic. Despite the huge distance involved, Margaret Thatcher swiftly sent a naval task force of over 100 ships and 11,000 personnel when Argentinian forces landed on the islands. John Major was Prime Minister after Margaret Thatcher, and he helped to establish the Northern Ireland peace process. In 1997, the Labour Party led by Tony Blair was elected. Tony Blair saw the introduction of the minimum wage, tuition fees for higher education, constitutional reform, and progress in the Northern Ireland peace process. The Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Assembly were elected for the first time on the 6th of May 1999. The Scottish Parliament were given more power to legislate, and the Welsh Assembly were given fewer powers but more control over public services. In Northern Ireland, the Blair government were able to build on the peace process, and the Good Friday Agreement was signed in 1998. Gordon Brown then took over as Prime Minister in 2007. Since 2000, armed forces in Britain have been actively involved in the global fight against international terrorism and the use of weapons for mass destruction, including in Afghanistan and Iraq. British combat troops left Iraq in 2009. The UK now operates in Afghanistan under the International Security Assistance Force. This is mandated by the United Nations. ISAF are working to ensure that Afghan territory can never be used again as a safe haven for international terrorism. In May 2010, and for the first time since February 1974, no political party won an overall majority in the general election. David Cameron, the leader of the Conservative Party, became Prime Minister after the Conservative and Liberal Democrat parties formed a coalition. That's it for this week's episode on British history, and next week we're looking at what society looks like in the UK today. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you next Friday for a brand new video.